Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Chaos, and today I'll be showing you guys my level 20 build for the Krogan Gladiator in multiplayer. So, I got this character rank 2, so I have a little extra points, but when you get this character to level 20, you won't have any extra points, and your build will look like mine if you're going to go for this build. So, with this character, um, he's very weak. Like, any character that I get right away, I go straight into gold just to level him up. And with this character, it was so much of a struggle. Like, I died so many times just because of the way this character is built. It's built around being in like a crowd of enemies, and at the low levels, it's really hard to stay alive. I mean, I wasn't even trying to stay in a group of enemies even at level 1 because it's gold, but this character just has such low shields and stuff. It's so hard to even just stay alive at low levels. So I don't recommend trying to go in gold. Um, Try to go in bronze or something. But I just wanted to level him up as quick as I can. And on top of that, I would have had him out earlier, but I went to reset his skill tree and I accidentally reset his level, so I had to go and power level him again. And I would have had this character out, this build out a lot earlier, but because of that, I just had to go and do it again. And this character is just so tough to level up. It's just so hard to play on low levels. So, um, but at level 20, this character is really good. So it's a little struggle, but if you do get her, level her up, she's a good character. So right away in the build, with the extra points I had left over, I put it in the pool. I just got it up to 2. When I get this character to rank 10, I'm gonna max out pool eventually, just because it's good for this character. So, but right now I just have it at 2, just for the recharge speed. And pull, it's good for this character because you use pull on an enemy, and if you hold the button and you grab an enemy and pull him towards you, if you use a melee attack, 'cause, this character has a Krogan hammer, so if you use a melee attack while holding an enemy, you do like so much damage, like double or triple damage. I don't know what it is, but you can one hit an enemy that you're holding, and if you actually walk him towards like other enemies, like even something strong like maybe something that has armor, you can pretty much take them down in one hit if you're holding somebody with pull, and it's really good. So that's the only reason why I'm gonna start leveling it up. But even at level 1, if you don't have any points invested in it, you could still do that. Grab an enemy and pull him and hammer him, melee, and it just does massive damage. And his hammer is like area of effect, so you can like take down a lot of enemies with his melee or her melee. Um, then I went for the annihilation. I maxed it out. This is what makes this character. So you really need annihilation field. Most of the time people go for the support and stuff for survivability, but with this character, it's the annihilation field that you need. So in the annihilation field, rank 4, I went for the recharge penalty over the radius just because I want to be able to get my other abilities as fast as possible. Because when you have annihilation field out, the recharge speed is slowed down. So this helps it out a little bit because you definitely want to use Pull and Nova as much as possible, even though you're not really going to put points into them right now. So go for the recharge penalty. Rank 5, I went for the damage attractor because when you have annihilation field out, any enemy affected by it takes additional 20% damage from anything. Your melee, weapons, the annihilation field, or Nova, anything like that. It'll take an additional 20% damage. So that's very good. Um, it's way better than the biotic wind that gives movement speed. You really need, the damage for this character. The melee is just so good. So really get that. And then rank 6, this is what I said for the survivability because you get draining field, and it'll give you 30% of your shields back every time you kill an enemy that's affected in your annihilation field. And most of the time, since you're going to be in a crowd meleeing and stuff, this is really good. And if you use pull, you can pull an enemy and walk to someone else, and you could take down like 2 enemies in one melee and get more than half of your shield back. So this is very good, especially since you have like low shield with this character already. So definitely get that over the vortex. Vortex is really good, just not for this character. So, like I said, with Nova, I didn't put any points into it. You really don't have to. The only reason I use Nova is because when you use Nova, you're invincible for the time being that you're using it. So when I'm in a crowd of enemies and someone wants to melee me or someone's shooting me and I'm like about to die or something, I can use Nova, and I'll be invincible, and then I can hit somebody and it'll probably kill them, and then I'll get my shield back with annihilation. So it's very good, very useful just to keep it where it's at. And then offensive biotics. At rank X, I'll be maxing it out, but right now I only have it at 5. So rank 4, I went for the power efficiency over the power enhancement just because, again, the recharge speed, you want that so you can get pull and nova quicker, because annihilation field, when it's out, you won't get them as fast. So really want to go for the power recharge speed. Rank 5, I went for the exposure, which is just like the annihilation field. Anybody affected by biotics takes additional 20% damage from everything. So with this one and the annihilation field, you're taking 40. The enemies are taking 40% damage from everything. So even melee, your gun. So really get this one. It syncs really well with the annihilation field. So definitely that one over the weapon specialist. You really don't need 10% weapon damage with this character, since you're really going to be using the melee. And when I do max him out, I'll probably just go for the Biotic Warrior just to get the extra melee damage, because it's really big, 50%. You can really like one hit enemies with that much melee. So really go for that. And then for rage, for rank 4, I had resilience before, and I wanted to test it out, and it's actually really good if you want to have a lot of survivability, because you're gonna get rage a lot with this character. So with this, you'll have that 5% damage resistance while in rage, and the extra health and shields, and it kind of helps, a little bit if you want to survive a little bit more. I've noticed it helping a little bit, but I went for the melee damage because with the extra 25% and then another 25% when you're in rage, so 50% total when you're in rage mode, is a really big deal, because without this, it takes about like 3 melees to kill an enemy that doesn't have a shield if you're not using full. And so if you have this, it takes about 2. So it's a really good, big deal to kill them quicker and then get your shields back with annihilation field. So that's why I went for the melee over the extra shields and health, because you're just going to get your shields faster when you kill an enemy. So that's why I went for that. And then rank 5, I had martial arts before, which gives, a huge melee bonus. And I was one hitting enemies with this. I was jump meleeing, and I was one hitting, enemies when I hit them without shields, the regular small guys. And it was really good, but I just couldn't survive. I don't know why, I was in groups of enemies and I would die so much. I was using a bunch of my little, what do you call it? The health shield, or the health boosters, and the revival things, the equipment, and I didn't like it. So I took this off and I put on regeneration, which it gives you 100% health regeneration when you're in rage. So it's really good because you have so much health with this character and not enough shields, so you rely more on your health. So with your health being able to regenerate to 100% while you're in rage is kind of like your shield. So it's a big deal with this character. So I when I put this on, I really seen that I can survive a lot more, and it was a lot better. So really pick this up. And on top of that, you get a 50% health and shield regeneration delay reduction. And with this character, the shield, it takes forever to recharge. So with this, it's really helpful for that too. I mean, even if you have annihilation field, most of the time, um, you're not really gonna have your shields up a lot. So you need to run away sometimes or hide, and it takes forever for your shield to come back. So I would really go for this if you can. Really pick this one up. And then rank 6, I went for the Berserker over the Inspirational. Um, I just went for the Berserker, just because I wanted to get Rage mode easier, quicker, one less melee kill, and then you get it at when you hit 33% health. You go into Rage, and then you can start regenerating your health again, and then you get a 25% melee bonus, and your Rage lasts 50% longer. So it's really helpful. If you're going to go with regeneration, you keep your Rage longer, and you keep getting your health back so you can survive more. But I mean, you can go for Inspirational and get the 25% or 20% max health and shields if you want. Um, just a little bit more survivability. I tried it out too, where I had Inspirational and I had resilience, and I was surviving a lot. It's just the melee damage, it wasn't there. So that's why I really switch these up for the melees. But you can go for the health and shields if you need to. All right, so for the weapons for this character, um, you can just pick whatever you want. Anything that's good for a crowd. I'm playing with the Naladin just because it has that explosive AOE, and it's really good, for the crowd. But you can go with shotgun or whatever. And what's good about this character or any Krogan really is they have a really high weight capacity of holding like weapons. So you can put anything on really that has a high weight. My sniper has a weight of 52. You could put on the piranha, 50 or whatever. Anything that's really high, like maybe the Black Widow, it's 55, the highest, and you could still get that 100% power recharge speed. So very good for this character, especially if he's all biotic. So you're really gonna want to use the moves as much as possible. So you can really use a good combination of weapons, and you can hit that 100%. So it's really good. I really like this character for that. And then really pair it with the Juggernaut Shield for that melee damage. Very useful. You really need that melee damage. The Krogan Hammer is so good with this character. Yeah, the Krogan Hammer has like an AoE effect, so you can really hit a bunch of enemies that are around you. But you have to be really close. They have to be really close to you. But it's still really helpful. Really good to use the hammer. And another thing too that I forgot to mention, uh, when I was struggling, to play this character at low levels, when I noticed leveling her up so many times is go for annihilation first, and just level it up all the way until you can get the shield restored because you're really gonna need that. And then once you get that, start working on rage and just get your melee up, just so you can start just killing enemies a lot quicker with the annihilation field up. And the reason you go for annihilation field first is just because the shield restored, and then you can use pull at level 1, and you can still one hit melee a bunch of enemies that you can pull and bring toward you. So even without rage or your melee up, you can still one hit enemies with pull. So definitely that's why I went for annihilation first, and then rage. Try to max them out as much, and then go for offensive biotics. So that's pretty much what I did with this character. So if you guys enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.